I'm gonna be asking you about communication in Qatar past.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely there was telephone lines
So you had
in
telephones
the
now?
house. Yeah, we had telephone in my house since the beginnings. Actually, it was maybe around 1964. We had a telephone line in my house, but it's not every houses
Yeah.
that used to have telephone. When I remember when we had our first telephone line, it was only 4 digits. You know,
Four
so
digit.
so from 4 digits you'd make about something like 5,000 or 6,000,
Yeah.
8,000 telephone lines in Qatar as a whole. يعني.
Yeah.
So not everybody had a telephone.
No.
And it was not normal to call your friend at the beginning. Was not normal to call your friend by telephone because that was cost again. So
Yeah.
not everybody. So if I want to speak to my friend, definitely I didn't have the liberty or the freedom to call whenever I want. Definitely. So that was a little bit of obstacle for us. But communication generally it was very poor.
Was very poor.
Aside from the landline that we had at home, there wasn't any such mean of communicating other than knocking the door, speaking to him directly, or sending somebody to tell him that. I tell you about a funny story that we have gone through because we used to go camping, and the weekend was only one day in Qatar, so it was only Friday.
Yeah.
So if we go camp, we would go in the afternoon of Thursday. So as soon as we get off the school, we just gather everything and gather everybody. It would be 1, 2, or 3 cars. We will go and camp in Dukhan or Ashiraj or something like that. So and you would, if somebody will be joining you, you will tell him, okay, we'll meet at 3 o'clock or بعد صلاة العصر after the afternoon prayer in that mosque, for example. We'll wait there and we'll move together. So that was how we'll gather around some place before moving. But what happened during one incident is that we were in 2 cars. Most of our luggages and our food and everything was distributed between 2 cars. So we reached Dukhan, and there was a misunderstanding of where to gather. So we waited there until evening time. The other car did not come. There is no mean of speaking to the other guys. And we used to go to this place, so we hoped that if we go there, they will come. They had a different idea of now maybe they will meet us some other place, and they went and they camped different places. So imagine now some of your food in one car, some of the other food in the car. They camp here and you camp there, and they would have the meat, you would have the rice, they would have the peppers, they will have the salts and oil and things. So imagine, so it wasn't comfortable camping during that year. So that's because lack of communications. We didn't have any telephone or anything to call. So that's how we spend. Sometimes you go into very difficult situations actually because of not having communications or mean of communications.
And when did that start getting better?
I think in early 90s, where we got there was during the 80s there was the car phones that was there.
Car phones?
Car phones, yeah, and it's like a car equipped with a phone, and usually it comes like a real big bag of a telephone that you could use to call other telephone. Definitely you can call other car phones or landlines, but that was very, very, very expensive. Imagine you are in 1980 or 1984, for example. An average salary of a person, a graduated person, would be 6,000 riyal, for example. And this phone would cost 30,000 riyal to get one-time payment. So you pay 36, I think it was 36,000 riyal, and then you pay annually about 6,000 or something like that. So that was a lot of money for most of the people to acquire any communication. So the only few people or elite people in Qatar, they had that telephone. A total of about maybe 2,000 telephones or something like that. So that was too expensive for us. We didn't have that one. For us, the first mean of communication we had is the early 90s, where we got pagers, bleep.
Okay.
Okay. So if I want Saud, for example, I know his pager's number. From landline, I would page him,
Yeah.
and he knows that I want to speak to him, so he would call me on that telephone. So
Okay.
that one way of communication with it was it eased a little bit our situations,
Yeah, of course.
definitely. You don't get the person right away, but he can so you page him, you wait there
You
on the
can
phone,
reach each other.
he will find any phone in the shops or anything, and he would call you. That is one way. The other, we use the pagers with codes, for example.
Yeah.
So the pager would have a small screen
Yeah.
that you get the telephone number, and there is a space for 4 digits,
Okay.
and you can put any codes. And people built up knowledge, created their own codes, for example.
Yeah.
Okay, so you would, for example, you would put a wife, for example, if calls me, and he wants milk for the children, we would have an agreed on a digit, for example.
Okay.
3, 4, bring milk. Okay. 100, call me later, or pick
Okay.
me up from my mother house, or whatever that.
Okay.
But 999, call me now, right away.
Call
And
me now.
okay, so that's kind of course. And you would, some people, they built a big list of different codes, which what it meant actually. So
Okay.
which was very innovative way of communicating. So he doesn't have to call you back, but at least he knows what I would want from him, from the pager when I sent him that message. Yeah?
And like each family had their own coding, right?
A family would build up their own codes, but the youth people, they have a common.
Yes.
They made it, and it's a conventional code between everybody, so everybody would know that one. So
And when did people stop using that?
they stopped using that one after '94, when we brought the mobile system in Qatar, and that's still continuing until today.
Until
So,
today. So
yeah.
Orido started in, it was
94.
called Hala, I think, right?
Hala was the prepaid calling card, but the normal, it was mobile. We used to call it mobile, yeah.
Okay.
Mubinet. It's
Okay.
called Mubinet, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it started in 1994.
1994, yeah.
It started as only like for phones, or like did it have internet service and all?
No, the phone was the mobile. It was a purely phone
Yeah.
without any internet until later in the late 90s, where the internet was incorporated into the phone with a very limited text internet only,
Yeah.
without any visuals, without any graphics or anything. It was
course,
only text. So you would search, and you get answers by
Yeah.
only texting.
And was it expensive when?
when the mobile, during the 90s, it was very, comparing to what used to be the 30,000 riyal,
Yeah.
36,000 riyal, it was very convenient by,
Okay.
and by 2000 and, by year 2000, there was something like 200,000 phones operating in Qatar.
Yeah.
I know this one because I work in the field of telecommunications, and I was one of the engineers working in Qatar then, who brought the mobile phone in Qatar actually.
So like you almost established communication in Qatar.
Exactly.